Yeah, hello everybody. Greg Giguiere here, viticulturist for Matchbook and JK Vineyards. We are out here today in the Old Book. This was the original development which got this whole thing started. You know, there was a vineyard here on this site. There's a great history. Kempton Clark Zinfandel vineyard that he planted for the sheep herders to have wine for him. It was removed. There was trunk diseases, viruses, other issues with the vines over here. So the decision was made to pull these out, and we are working with a few new clones to us of Cabernet Sauvignon. So we're really excited about these. These were planted in mid-February as dormant vines, so they come just dormant wood, dug from a nursery down in Bakersfield, California. This is clone 412 here. If anybody's interested in more, we can get more information on that. It's an earlier ripening, more of a moderate yielding, but high quality, very intense wines that come from this. We've never worked with it, so we're really excited. So this combination of clone 412 and also clone 31, Tocalone clone, and both of those are new to us. And so what we're really interested in here and what we're watching is this growth. And so as we see, the carton was planted and they're starting to come up and they're going to be growing, and then we're going to train these. So as they grow up, we'll train with green tie tape, bring these up, and then within a few months this will be a green looking vineyard out here. And so if we pan down this way, we can see how they're starting about 3 or 4 of them have something green coming out of them. And even a week ago, as we could look back at the other footage, there was very little coming out. So every day we see new growth, and it's just really amazing, exciting what's going on with these. So the heat that we're having is really amplifying the growth, no question. So we're looking at some record heats coming next week. We've had a pretty mild spring so far. It's actually been nice. The growth has been regulated. It hasn't. Last year was wet, and then finally the heat came and everything grew with all the wet soil, and we just spent all spring into summer trying to catch up. I really feel like this is more of a balanced kind of a year, even though as earlier we did talk about the uneven shoot growth, which was a challenge, but things are really coming along nicely. The cover crop is starting to dry out, starting to change as we come in. The soils are drying, and so we're just putting moderate amounts of water on these vines to keep them hydrated and to keep that growth going, and then we'll come in with some fertilizers, and so you really see it's a progress, and then it really develops. So we would have a crop in 2 years from now and a full crop in 3 years. So we're looking at 2023 as being a new vintage from these. We're really excited about working with these clones. So. Yeah, so I'm looking now for any insect activity going on in here, anything that might be down in these cartons munching on the vines. I looked inside this one because it's starting to get some shoot growth. It was a little bit behind some of the others, but they're coming along nicely. So these sleeves here are protective sleeves for several reasons, especially when we plant young vines. The winds and the dry winds can really inhibit their growth to dry out, or even sometimes the buds will dry. And then protect them from other foraging animals, rabbits, anything that might be chewing on them. And also, when you see this bare dirt, it's not by accident here. This is herbicides put down. We try to use them as sparingly as possible, but especially in young vineyards, we really got to keep the weeds away from trying to compete with the vines. And so these cartons are here to protect them from any sprays that we put on here. And so we do a nice wide, so the cover crop, if there's a reason for that, in all the vineyards, is we want this bare dirt, this open for airflow and for warmth in the spring times. We're getting out of that frost season now, and it can always a chance of it can be a late season frost all the way through April, even early May sometimes, and a freak event can come through. So the best option we have without really investing in big wind machines or overhead sprinklers is just things. So we have these events that come every several years, is this bare ground, and then that solar heating then radiates at night, and then the low, we're going to come in and mow this again soon, and that low lying cover crop to allow for the airflow to come through. So that's pretty critical. Just a lot of details that go into caring for the young vines. They're struggling to make it to come up, and then once they are developed, and then they have some stress on them, and things really make for more of a, add those characters and add those intensities to the wine. So, really what we're doing is we're wine growing, that term, that we're really trying to facilitate these vines to be healthy. And the Old Book here is really a move to have a lower yielding, much more intense wines, and really see what we can do to represent these hills, these soils, and the microclimates that we have here in the Dunnigan Hills. So I just think it's something really special, that we're above the valley here. If you were to look out the view that we have this way, you just really see how, and everybody has been out here knows we're up on this vista, we're up out of the valley, we're not, in the valley growers, this beautiful Northern California here. And we have the climates, we have these things. Cabernet loves heat, we can really ripen them cool nights, cool mornings. And so that's just really is conducive for great vintages. And so we hope for, they're all good, and some are very well. 2018 was one that was just an excellent harvest, and really, those kind of years come every several years. But we're improving, we're working with new clones, we're really learning how to farm these, and it's just always an experience. There's always learning happening. We never know what's out there. So it's really exciting, and it never gets old. It gets to a lot of hours and a lot of details, and we're just right in the middle of the spring where everything is exploding and happening rapidly. So, we're looking good, and everything's great out here. Hope everybody gets out as soon as possible out here again. So cheers, everybody.